e whaasana e o mate maunga i o mai ai o fisosani. O lo fisosani i mai ai o valea. Amen. Po e me inga ia tua. Una ole hawa no mo lunga si o ai no tui mai. Whapinana kumaina si tala amal ta si o fini. Una whaafewa ia tō taspa ia. Tua sama le alu. Le anga pa ia. Mamaru le awhia ni tulau. Le au whainga leo pa ia le tua. Whaftai. Ale ngatai lea tupu mai e o le atu. Tumisara la anu ni watu lea. E o yese leo tina. Faita stani. Foi minha candidatura. Sari da manatu. Maria esse filho aí. Sam, thank you for your honest, loving, caring, one daughter. You did it. Thank you. God bless you. Ayah na lua, tu tercera mai tu jalan. Ai mai se so poro tu mata. Ai no sama ai. Ai no aflava, silima, tomela. Fafitai, fafitai. O wo mai masani. Wazato fatasi mene tu la. Mulher malangi malinga yote sitasi wafini. Awale yo ese tani yote fapena na utunasi sitala oto tu sore mama tama tani kupana. Fatai wale kuanko I still the spirit from last night. Sharing, laughing, crying, sharing a story about Dorothy. That's her. Total all in the program, or now, or the day to open. I said, the Tala Otto, the Christian Mama, some. Pagkatsa gatsa offer la au amatsa offer for la ikai I felt tired to my mamas no long mani no have time o today no for thing in there you want to tell something. If I'm not or the children, I'm not feel like you're not so. I ain't saying you're a twin on you need to find a tell no paid off in. In the what to buy you want to. Over I was a thing you sister was a thing from my own. In the what to prepare no land. Fire or Nangler, Fat Tiger Tour. O year for or a wheel of fun. I later a pillar within the tour. Uno half of fun, and now about Pumian. friend do. One of me tells it to my sister. Sorry if I got tired telling you, but too far. One of me is yourself here. Live for the other month before. One of the thousand of two. One of the lot of. I see as you don't know for you too. One of the tattoo thing. E se la fia del tuo, lo tuo valore, lo tuo amore, gliela costi. O se mena tu con il tuo fuori, e lei non fa stare molto fietta, o non fa onore. O tamate o tu mai ancora, sa o libro. O te non sa quello che devo, ma vuoi fare, io o io. How special he was. And I'm proud of it. And to a bit of an and we never muffle, seeing out to the road. I owe to the side here, but to fight to it too. He also know what to quite a problem like. When God is spread out thousand, say to know. Ma on a PCI, and made for you of us of family. The table in what is out on you. He's tired of your upward body. Thankfully, block the family away to me. When I'm tired of Mom, I prepare. Fix to her hair. And I go, okay. I was ready. Never compared. It's hard. I tried to rush to the inner sea. I'm in the sea, it's still alive. But I came there and I just, when I had to find a top, I put in a little pennies to not to get too halfway. Io ho trovato in fatto in mano. In oltre mai un modo di tutti, sempre in fatto. As 3 words in there: faith, hope, and love. You know, I went home and looked at 1 Corinthians 13:13. You know, I don't know what talking never takes it. In my heart, which is great. E vai non fa. Ti mando si per di fatta sulla lettura. Ti fa tenere tu là. Na io uso tua mani. Na io aina. Uma fare fatta si diga, tanto ti buoni momino. Tu fai un naso fila. Partai con gli suono, e ho provato. Cisco, and the group, now the people I didn't know. This is the first time I see them. She always would, you guys watch the video, she always put me in a nice. She pushed me to wear that, Mom, just wear that shirt. I'm going to get the picture. And I didn't know she posted. And I thought, Dorothy, why you do that? And sometimes where she said, next time I take your last name, I put your father's last name. And I go, okay. I agree with that. Then all this is joke about. But I know her heart. You're already proud of that. And all my family, I just thank you for supporting, loving, and caring. Just God see that. And God bless you all from my heart. Amen.
I hope nobody got a picture, a close-up one, because I got a snot coming down. Sorry. Gave hard, loved hard. Laughed hard. 415, boom bang, niner gang. Giants, warriors, big heart. Big hair, big nails, Starbucks snob, Victoria's Secret, Met counter. Nike shoes, shorts and tanks, lashes in her lips. Instagram queen, selfie soul, big body radio, Planet Fitness. Loved God, loved family, loved her sports. When you hear those words, they should remind you of Auntie Dawn, Diza, Dorothy, Makabobi, or as I affectionately called her privately, but now I'm making it public, Booty. Dorothy Easter Tabella, born March 29th, 1970, in Oceanside, California, to Tuliva Naulamai Tabella. Booty and I are only a year apart. But the first memory I have of her scarred me for life. She was 5 and I was 4. And we all know she was a giver. And on this particular day, she wanted to give me a gift I'd never forget. Well, she accomplished that because I never forgot, and I probably never forgave her. Now, I'm sure it's hard to imagine for you guys, because I heard you guys up here, you went on shopping sprees, she sent you this, she sent you that. It's hard for you to imagine that she would give a gift that somebody didn't like. Well, she loved you. Me, I don't know. It was 1975, and we were in the patio of our grandparents' Managa Lusa Silima's home, 4062 Lewis Street, Oceanside. And just a side note, that patio was known to all the grandkids as the illegal bedroom. Booty told me she had a gift for me. So we're facing each other, and she's telling me, Shan, close your eyes. This is killing me because I'm like, hurry up and just give it to me. Why do I have to close my eyes? I'm always analyzing things and I do not like surprises. She continues and says, open your mouth. Of course I don't right away because I have more questions to ask. What is it? I asked, just so shut up. She says, it's green jello. I'm like, food? Okay. And without thinking, I did as she asked. She puts the object in my mouth, and I'm smiling just thinking about it. But that smile quickly turned to bent eyebrows because I realized this is not smooth. This is not cool. It's not even lemon lime tasting. I open my mouth. She is dying, laughing uncontrollably. I'm like, what is it? She says, it's my book. the beginning of sibling rivalry between Booty and Shanny. So maybe it was a one-sided rivalry, but after that incident, it was on. Everything was a competition to me, like a boxing match. I always had to one-up on her. Remember before Facebook and Throwback Thursday, or as my Auntie Val would say, drawback pictures? So before FB, IG, TBT, we had MySpace, and in 2005, she decided to post a throwback picture of me. So yesterday when my niece Robin was talking about her going to war with Dorothy on Facebook, I figured she had to move down competition because she couldn't get me. I have pictures of her for days, so we went back and forth, and of course my pictures outlasted her pictures. I won that match, and back to the corners of the ring we went until the next competition. Since she can't be here to deny that booger gift, defend herself, comment, or share a story about me, I'll be fair. I'll tell you a story she told about me, and most of you probably already know because she cried it out often. And I'll just preface it by saying, she always told people, if people didn't know us, they think Shan was older because she's so bossy. Well, up until a couple days ago, my mom's youngest sister, Auntie Julie, she was, I thought you were older. I said, no, I wasn't, Auntie. She said, you were bossy. She was living in South San Francisco on 650 First Lane. One summer I went to go spend the summer with her in the 80s. And moms gave us a couple dollars to go to the corner store. Well, nowadays I know you can't even buy one item, but back then we got a lot. So had my sister Janet's Snicker bar, we had her Taco Dorito chips, handful of Double Bubble, and 2 Fanta glass bottles of soda. So we're walking back to the house. Dee has the bag of food. I have the bag of sodas, the glass bottles of soda. Walking, chewing, laughing, when all of a sudden, one of the sodas drops out of my bag. I didn't drop it, it just happened. And without hesitation, or before she could even say anything, I looked at her and said, that was yours. And I kept it moving. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Chantel Pau Selena Nautala. I'm Dorothy's younger, bossy, prettier sister. Maybe we've never met before. Maybe you've seen a throwback picture of me on her MySpace or one more recent on her Instagram. I'd be the first to admit she made me look good with all those filter and edit options on her phone. She knew all the apps and did wonders with pictures. The truth is, I always wanted to look like her. Put makeup on like her, wear my hair like her. I'm so mad at her because she wouldn't even color my hair. I said, do you please color my hair? She said, no. So in honor of her, I went and got my hair colored for this weekend. A lot of my family members did. We all wanted to look like her. You know, she liked to experiment with a lot of different looks. She had it going on. I'm not Dee's full sister as far as having the same father and mother. But you couldn't tell us we were. Just the proper term of our relationship is sister-cousin. Her mom, Ola, and my mom, Ave, are sisters. They're 2 of 12 siblings. Dorothy was the youngest of 6 siblings. Frank, Marilyn, Lillian, Roger, and Rick. Our family doesn't end there. There are numerous family members, uncles, aunts, cousins, too many to mention by name. She didn't have any kids of her own. All her nephews and nieces would claim to be her favorite, which speaks volumes to the mother figure she was to them. Her favorites were whoever she was with at the time. Family members that have passed before her, it's her dad, Tulival Tavela, Uncle Paul Pau, sister, cousin Tiana Masaniai, niece and nephew Evangeline Fili Borval, grandpa Manava Silina, cousin Kulesa Afalava, uncle dad Faleloa Silina, auntie mom Yokopeka Silina, and brother Roger Tavela. More recently, in the past 11 months, Sister Marilyn Tautolo in May, Grandma Lucia Afalava Silinga in June, Brother Cousin Junior Silinga in November, and just this year in February, Brother Cousin Apeloni Silinga. All but 1 year, Dorothy spent all her 45 years of life in California. 1 year she spent in Seattle, but the rest here in California, and she was back and forth from Oceanside, the Bay Area, Baldwin Park. She started elementary at Casita Elementary in Oceanside, then 1 year in Seattle, and then moved to San Francisco for the remainder of her elementary and middle school years. Her years in San Francisco are very close to her heart. She grew up attending the First Samoan Full Gospel Church, pastored by Matakale Lefefe Toina. Many of her closest friends you saw up here last night, like Othara, she met during her time in San Francisco. She developed a love for the professional Bay Area teams. And in 1985, she moved back over here to California, to Baldwin Park, and attended high school, then went to stay with our uncle Falelo in Yoka, and attended Vista High School. In 1990, she moved back to San Francisco to stay with Brother Frank to help raise his daughters, Tilly, Chanel, and Rachel. It was during that time she met the love of her life, Sam Faita. In 1996, Sam and Dorothy married in Las Vegas with close family and friends in attendance. And when she married Sam, she didn't just marry him, she married his family. She formed a tight bond with the Faitas. You would have never thought his parents, Logan Oriano, better known as Big O, siblings Becca, James, Mark, Tim, their spouses and kids, you would have never thought they were her in-laws. And even with the first fight to niece, Ori, and nephew Maddie were born, she spoiled them as they were her own. She loved the Faitas, just like she loved her blood family. When I moved away from California in 1999, I only returned for family reunions, graduations, birthdays, weddings, and I look forward to coming back to seeing her. Some of the trips that stand out to me were in 2006, we met in Portland for our cousin Malia's wedding. In 2007, we had a Apalava Silinga reunion in Oceanside. In 2010, I flew in for my nephew Patrick's wedding and met her there. In 2011, my sisters flew me out to Seattle to celebrate my 40th and to watch my niece Audrey play softball. After Seattle, we drove down to Corvallis, Oregon State University, where Audrey was attending school. And our most recent sister trip that we took was last summer, 2014. We went to Medford, Oregon for our cousin Casey's wedding. This is where I want to stop and spend some time talking about. It's my last time I saw her. 2014, I flew to California to go on a sissy trip with Mona, Jen, go to Medford together. Little did we know that would be our last trip together. Kleenex and Excedrin, the two things we always needed when we got together. I didn't mention food because, well, that was a given. And living on the East Coast, I always have certain spots I want to visit when I come back to California. My sister spoiled me. Whatever little Sissy Shan wants, we'll go eat. So here we go, heading to LAX. We stop at Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles, but that wasn't enough. We wanted some Samoan food, so we stopped in Carson at Poly Grill. Our first night, me and he pulled the all-nighter while the two older sisters fell asleep. Although we talked and texted on the phone, it was just different when we get together in person. We never ran out of things to talk about. The entire time that weekend, she was taking selfie pictures galore of us. And during that time of our all-nighter, she even took a sleeping selfie of us. We could barely keep straight faces trying to do this, and we did a lot of takes before she got one she liked. We talked all night about everything. We may have even talked about you. We never ran out of things to talk about. We had the best time in Oregon, spending time with our Uncle Legend's family. So let me just take you through what happened when we first landed. We stopped at the store to stock up with snacks and drinks. You would have thought we had a kitchen in our room and we were going to stay a month. We went on a tour of David and Harry's and were shown how much butter they would put into making Moose Crunch. We went to rehearsal dinner. We did late night runs to the drive-thru. Dutch Brothers for coffee. We feasted at the wedding. And after, we went to the movies to see Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And MC Mikey. Sorry, just had to say that. I like that. We had buckets of butter popcorn and mega-sized sodas. And after the movie, we lovingly suggested to our cousin Becca's husband Billy, dude, come on, make us some more of that salmon you made at the rehearsal dinner because we didn't have enough. So of course, we didn't give him no choice. It was set. We were going to go over there the next morning for a breakfast buffet. So we pack up the next morning and take all our groceries, our unopened groceries, to the Manuais because we just didn't eat it all. And so before we went to their house, we stopped at the store to get more groceries because Sissy Mona, her motto she lives by, never go empty-handed. So we had our leftover food in the room, we had more groceries, and I don't even know why we asked him to make salmon because we had the whole meal in our car. We fly back to California that afternoon, and our first stop, In-N-Out. The next day, we had a lunch date, Dorothy and I, with brother Paul and our pal uncles at Hana's. Just trying to paint a picture for you to see, as my niece Audrey mentioned yesterday. Everything we did was centered and planned around food, starting with the green Jell-O, the Fanta sodas, Poly Grill, movie popcorn, In-N-Out, and so on. Later that night, Dorothy and I said our goodbyes. We had a heart-to-heart as we ate our mocha almond fudge ice cream from Thrifty's. And even though 99% of our trip was full of laughs and eating, I could still sense she wasn't happy. Still grieving the death of her sister Marilyn, 3 months prior, I gave her the "you need to get right spiritually and physically" deed. That was August 11th. 2 weeks later, we would have our last competition. She started the 100-day challenge with Not to Fitness. She told me about it, I thought about it, I wanted to do it, but I didn't. The result, she lost 30 pounds, and I found 30 pounds. Point for my sister Dorothy. She won the last match. Trying to sum up 45 years in 20 minutes, not possible. There's no way to mention every single person here that she's ever met. I may not have mentioned your name, but that doesn't mean you didn't have a part in her life. You may have had a falling out and weren't talking at the time of her death. You may have only talked once a year when she'd post on social media a birthday collage for you. Or you may have talked every day. It was the same for us all. We loved her no matter how often or little we talked. Back in February, she went on a road trip with her cousin Jen, nieces Val, and Ashley to Utah. They were traveling for her brother Ebelonge's funeral. And after returning from that trip, she posted a picture on her IG of her and her sister Mona and Janet. And she commented on that picture, and I just want to read it to you. From May 2014 to just last week, we lost 3 siblings. Our sister Marilyn, brother Junior, and now brother Ebelonge. It's hard enough to lose 1 sibling in a year's time, but when you lose 3 in a year, it's a whole other level. You pull strength from whatever source you know and try to keep it moving, but that's easier said than done. The only thing that gives me peace is knowing they were all saved and heaven-bound. We'll get through this as long as we lean on the Lord. And she ends her post with the word from the Lord in Hebrews 12:3. Consider him so you won't become weary and discouraged in your heart. And I just find that it's so timely for us here today. We're discouraged. We're tired. We're still trying to come to grips with her being gone. I picture my sister taking her last breath, alone in her car, and it's not the picture I want to remember. The truth is, she was far from alone. The same God that's with us here today is the same God that was with her when he came to take her home on April 16th. She was with the Prince of Peace, the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords. That's the picture we should remember. Dorothy leaves behind a legacy of giving, love, and laughter instilled in her by God-fearing grandmother, mother, friends, and family that loves hard, laughs hard, but prays harder. On that day, April 16th, her earthly journey ended. We reflect her life, we mourn her death, and we celebrate her homecoming. Life after death, have you considered it? Are you confident in knowing where you will go? At funerals, it's common to hear she's in a better place. I'm not afraid to say that's not true. I'm not talking about my sister Dee, I'm talking in general. Not everybody that dies is in a better place. Not all will go to heaven. There's only one way to heaven, and that's through Jesus Christ. In John 14:6, Jesus says, I am the way, I am the truth, I am the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. And in this time of mourning, I believe that God has a purpose, one that will bring joy in the morning. The Lord says in Isaiah 66:9, I will not cause pain without allowing something new to be born. Whether you've backslidden or have not accepted Christ, my family's prayer and hope is that through this pain that we're suffering right now, because of the death of my sister, that many will be resurrected to life and born again. Then, and only then, will you be in a better place after death here on earth. John 11:25 says, Jesus is the resurrection and the life. He who believes in me will live even though he dies. Let me repeat that. He who believes in me will live even though he dies. Family and friends, be encouraged and comforted knowing that my sister Dorothy, Easter Tavella Faita, she still lives even though she died. I love you, Booty.